Hello and welcome to Forever Sports. And very interesting on the back end of yesterday's Springbok press conference with SA Rugby seemingly calling out World Rugby for targeting the Springboks with the proposed law changes. And Rian Olberholzer, the CEO of SA Rugby, not mincing his words with regards to how they feel with the way that World Rugby is trying to change the game with the law variations and basically saying that they feel as if the Springboks are being punished for winning the World Cup. And I think we're about to go into a very interesting few years in terms of a grapple for keeping rugby union whilst trying to improve the product, whilst trying to make sure that all the unions across the world are aligned and the national unions and everyone sort of working together to try and find the best possible outcome. And I think SA Rugby at the moment are feeling very much like World Rugby are going after them. And what will be very interesting is with World Rugby aiming to try and depower the scrum, to try and take away from the set piece. This is happening on the eve of a Six Nations weekend where France will take on Ireland, basically playing for the Six Nations title with a 7-1 split. And all the talks about having to pass the game and play the likes of that 7-1 split is very much not really aligned with that. So all of a sudden, it's not just the Springboks who are looking to sort of overload and forwards the likes of that. Other teams are starting to catch up. And what I'm very interested to see is what the reaction will be from the rest of the world to France if they continue to do it. But before we look at exactly what Rian Olberholzer said and what the situation is, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So yesterday, there was a press conference down in Cape Town, and the first three people up front were Rian Olberholzer, SA Rugby CEO, Rassie Erasmus, as well as Charles Wessels, who is the team manager. So obviously, the big thing with Rian Olberholzer is he's the one that sits in all the World Rugby meetings with regards to changes in the likes of that. He's our representative in those meetings. And he was asked if we can expect more law changes in the 2027 World Cup. And he said the following. He said, there are no changes for this season. There are still some variations we are working through. He said, I must say, it's sometimes difficult sitting in the meetings. It feels that when you become world champions, you get punished by World Rugby with certain law changes they're suggesting, but saying that the changes then coming would probably make a customer more after the World Cup. And, he actually was quite open about it, basically saying that World Rugby are trying to, they keep using the word of ball and play and trying to sort of speed up the game as a way of bettering the product. And he said some unions agree, some people don't agree. For example, you look at the red card, the 20-minute red card, and some unions very much pushing for it. Other unions not, and being very upfront about the fact that they don't like it. So we've got a currently massive arm wrestle between the various different stakeholders in the World Rugby, environment, ecosystem. And SA Rugby are very much going to push to make sure that scrums are protected, that your set piece like your lineouts are protected, because what we're very good at. And also, to be fair, it kind of makes rugby union. The whole point of league is that it is faster, fewer set pieces, and supposedly more open. Rugby union is far more, I think, tactical, far more physical from a forwards point of view, using the scrum, using the line, and the likes of that. And there's a lot of law change which are trending much towards lead, then, and we're kind of losing the principles of what it is to be rugby union. And Sansari is not standing down. They're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to basically sit there and very much advocate against a lot of these laws and make sure that the interests of especially us are going to be heard. So we're going to see a massive power struggle, I think, in the next few years with regards to unions like a France, like a South Africa, like an Ireland, for example, who will, and New Zealand, obviously, as sort of the top four sides of the world, will feel they've got the most weight when it comes to these discussions. And they're going to make sure that rugby as a game stays in a position, stays as a product within the realms of what we're good at and what we can produce. Now, obviously, you're going to have to adapt to whatever law change there are. And there really are some interesting variations which are being taken advantage of. For example, the line out not having to be straight if it's uncontested and the likes of that. And we're seeing people throwing short, for example. And that we're going to see a lot of fine tuning there. We've seen lots of fine tuning with different aspects, such as free kicks with the scrums and the whole works, and not being able to give a long arm penalty for certain things when it comes to the scrums. So, yeah, I think we're in for an interesting few years, and I think this is going to be a very iconic time for World Rugby to try and get things right. Because if they get things right, I think World Rugby rugby in the world rather is set to explode and could become one of the biggest sports globally, even bigger than it is now. Get it wrong, and I feel we risk ostracizing the game and becoming a very niche type of sport, which you don't really want to go down there. So what do you think? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is SC Rugby right to go after World Rugby? Do you think we're gonna have the capacity and the power to be able to sort of affect change? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.